Hello TikTok, I'm having a moment of contemplation today. Got some nice chill music, really nice good quality Ice Fusion brand new brush. It's always nice to use a new brush, makes you feel good. And yeah, I don't know what it is, maybe the chilled music. I'm doing some varnishing. It's always a nice way to start the week after you've been sanding, covered in dust, and then to start applying the varnish. But what I wanted to talk about today was it's a little bit touching on mental health, which I mentioned before, and it's a way of life. So a good rule of thumb, if you've got a decent sized project, you're on site, good rule of thumb is when you get materials delivered, you should never have to move them more than 3 times. If you do, it means you've probably ordered them too far in advance and they're in your way. You're having to move them just because you've put them in front of a wall that then you decide, oh, I need to plaster that wall or paint that wall, and you've stacked a load of materials in front of it. Obviously they get delivered, let's say it's patio slabs, you would then pick up the patio slabs, move them to the back of the garden, and then you would pick them up one more time to actually install them, for example. If you had to move them because they're in your way, that's 3 times you've moved them. Then potentially after that you've shot yourself in the foot, you've ordered them too soon. So that's the rule of 3, only move materials maximum 3 times, and it's all about timing, which is very difficult to do. The other rule is 1 time, only touch something once, and I mentioned this again in some of my other emails, and it's about post, emails, admin, that sort of thing. So if a new email comes into your inbox, if you click it and open it, you need to then action it, reply it, archive it, put it in a folder, do whatever is required. So maybe there's a document attached and it says, here you go, here's a document for you to update, or here's a document that you've asked for. Then you do something with that document, you action it, and then that inbox is cleared. It's no longer, sorry, that email is cleared, it's no longer in your inbox. Do not open an email and then go, oh, I'll do that later, and then you close the email, or red flag it, or mark it as unread, because then you've got to again open that email, read it, go through it all again. It's the same with post. You open your post, it's a bank statement. Don't put the bank statement down on the kitchen worktop and go, oh, I'll put that away later. You've opened it, it's in your hand, put it away straight away, and then it's much more efficient. You don't have to come back to it and kind of go over it and do it all again. And it's all about, the reason that it's about mental health is it's about clutter. It's about decluttering your mind. It's about opening your inbox and having a clear view of what it is, when you opened that, what it is that you wanted to do or what you wanted to achieve. You don't open it and then suddenly you've got all this chaos and clutter, which then clogs up your mind and you can't think clearly. Same as what I said before, you would never have a big pile of mail right by your front door that's just dropped through the letterbox and then you just leave it there. Or you would never open it and then throw it back on the floor in front of your letterbox, would you? So a rule of 1 is very good for admin things like that. It's difficult to do. You will sometimes have to break that rule. It's, you know, it's not a steadfast rule. You can bend the rules a little bit. I think what I saw was in your inbox, the maximum you should have each day is as far as you can scroll. So you shouldn't have to scroll down to go to more emails. You should have your inbox at 1 page. There should be no scroll bar. And that would be the things where it's needed a bit more work, or it's something that you need some other information. So they've asked for something and you haven't got that information, you can't reply to it yet, you're waiting on something else. Or it's a big document, you know, it's an Excel file, it's going to take you all week, or a DWG, a drawing file, it's going to take you all week to do whatever it is in there. That's okay, you know. But the rule of 1, touch things once, is a really good rule, and move things maximum 3 times. Really good rules, and will help you to be more organized, think clearly, be less stressed, end each day with like a clear agenda of what you might potentially need to do the next day, or end the day feeling, yeah, good, I've achieved everything I need to do, and now I can turn that off and rest, recuperate, turn off from work, and then start the next day afresh, not having all these other things like hanging over your head and waking up to chaos all the time. So yeah, rule of 1, rule of 3. Hope it works for you, it works for me.